The greatest. So
I'll finish it out.
all I eat this time of year are those things.
Pretty good.
Off the plant.
We have a no.
Oh, my mother-in-law does. Green leafy things on the ground.
I know that.
She used to grow weed, but now she doesn't grow weed anymore, so she had a great soil for those things.
Fabulous. She could probably smoke that at some point, right? No, let it dry out. You do it too tasty?
I don't know what that would do. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not good at any of that.
That's probably.
Are we important in listening to this point? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Mayor, we are good to go when you are.
All right, call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock. We'll do roll call, we'll go around the room. My name is Todd Lands, I'm the mayor.
Derek Montani, Public Works Director.
Kevin Thompson, Assistant City Manager.
David Kelly, City Manager.
Chris Parker.
Sorry,
Chris Parker, what else is?
Trustee.
Melissa Fitzgerald, Superintendent.
Thank you, and Councilmember Morgenstern is absent today as Candelaria Law, just Candelaria. All right, B, public comments. The public may speak on any item not listed on the agenda at this time. There is no public in this room, so we'll move on. Approval of minutes from the April 15th meeting. Do anyone want to make a motion on that?
Sure, so moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Anyone against? Perfect. We'll move on to new business discussion. E1, painting of the Ritter water tank.
Okay, thank you, Chair and Mayor. Included in the packet is a draft agreement. So just quick background, the school district and through the superintendent submitted a request to be able to place a painting on the Ritter water tank. The interest is to put lettering that reflects, I think it was originally home of the Eagles and now it's go Eagles. In order to assess the viability of painting the water tank, our Public Works Director, Derek Montani, went up to the tank with the district's consultant to assess the tank. I think the superintendent took a visit up there as well. They'd like to use a private contractor to place the slogan on the water tank. And what staff did is draft an agreement that defines the obligations of the city as well as obligations of the district. I think we've received some comments back from the district, and it's something we can talk a little bit about today about in response to the kind of the specific questions that really revolve around the term of the agreement and the obligations of the district for how long they might apply. And I think maybe after further conversation, we can kind of hone in on what that, well, how we might want to define that, because it's somewhat ambiguous. It may depend on various factors in the future. The agreement, it was modeled after a previous agreement that was entered into between the district and the city for planters that were placed in the downtown area in the public right of way. And so it's the terms are fairly consistent with that. It just calls out the specific obligations for the specific project. So I think there's support by our Public Works Director as well as our water team as supporters of the high school football team and the high school mascot to go ahead and place the lettering of Go Eagles up on the Ritter water tank. Some questions might be, we see the rendering, it's kind of black and white, so it's hard to define if there's what the colors of the lettering might look like, whether there's an interest in doing, blue and gold in accordance with the kind of the color scheme of the high school, or is it just white lettering, because the tank itself is kind of an off green. So, you
Yeah, it's
know,
kind of faded. They'd probably be blue and gold, right? At least blue and white.
Well, no, according to Fitzgerald's, is that anything we do that's gonna be light color is gonna not show up.
Mhm.
So their suggestion was just to do a dark blue for everything.
Okay.
He said even if you did the outside with the yellow, you'd never see it.
see it, yeah.
So, yeah, the reason, a couple things, when Derek and I were up there, and I appreciate your time on that too, is we needed to pretty much stick to the top two sections. Because the tree, there's a tree, it'd be tough to see if you went farther. And we thought, you know, cause there's some pieces up here that you can't really write on. And so, in a far enough away that if we did home of the Eagles, you would never even know what home of the Eagles or home of Park would even come within. So we just say Eagles. So we thought go might be the easiest way to go.
Did you work on that?
I worked pretty hard on that.
Those letters will be wrong.
Our class out there.
So we are right now in the process of working with, to try to find a stencil, basically, so that we can put up there, and then, Margaret would, paint them while they're up there. So we're working on that part, as far as that goes. My questions on just, and I think, David said it right, because my questions were, a lot of the stuff that was on here was just like, you know, how long are we gonna be on the hook for it, basically, is it, well, it's just being painted, or are we just, you know, signing our lives away for forever in perpetuity on whether or not that, tank, you know, for liability, everything like that too, where all we're doing is just really putting paint on the existing thing. So that was some of my questions. I know that I emailed, David those questions. We appreciate the city's blessing on that. We work with you guys as far as when that goes and when everything like that. We just have some stuff to figure out. The Fitzgeralds are gonna donate their time and they are donating the paint. Cause it's metal, so they have to get special kind of paint and things like that too, and I just trust their judgment. But we are working on that. We do have Ace Hardware. Will Jobson's gonna give us I believe you know this,
It's my idea.
the door stems.
Door skins, Margaret asked me how to do it.
Yeah, and so we're trying to get, we have, apparently at the wood shop, at our wood shop, we have a way to be able to use it to cut the letters. So it's technology that nobody on site's used before. So I got,
That's what it's created for.
yeah, so we looking into our technology, guys looking into it to how to get it up and running, and so our hope is to be able to just cut those basically, and then she goes up. The skims are good because of the fact that they can mold up there basically, so, for that. And we're looking, the panels themselves are about 4x8 panels. That doesn't quite, it makes the letters too elongated, so she's thinking more like 3x5, somewhere on there to make it look a little bit more presentable. Otherwise, it's gonna look kind of funky. So again, I'm just trusting what she says. We are also, the only thing that we're looking at getting up there, and when we went up there, I think it shouldn't be an issue, is just bringing up a boom truck, basically, to be able to get that. Cause I don't think a scissor lift would get you close enough to it, and it just goes straight up, so it'd have to be a little bit, so. And we're working with some different rental companies to be able to get that, and I think we'll have to get that either pretty cheap or free, if not. So, I don't think anybody should be out any monies as far as that goes, but I just think it would be cool to do that. And like I said, they just kind of, their suggestion was to keep it with the dark, you know, they're gonna figure out which blue would work the best, but. Cause I talked about the outlining too, but we think that would look as good, so. But, I hadn't told you, I think I told you guys the Go Eagles part instead of the.
Is it Fitzgerald anymore?
Yeah, same one, I think, he said you guys have all their insurance information or something from before.
Might be expired.
Right, but he's saying that he's done public work projects.
Yeah, he made it,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the agreement would be with the school district rather than with Fitzgerald, so.
right,
But it would be good as kind of the subcontractor to get and have his insurance on file.
Yep.
And I think in terms of the agreement itself, we can update it to reflect Go Eagles rather than Home of the Eagles.
Mhm.
And then I think the question that I think you're asking, Superintendent, is, for how long? And, we said maintaining good conditions, and we said for how long,
right,
and I guess that's it's something we may want to define, or maybe we leave ambiguous. It's just the intended, I can see it probably will take several years before it starts to fade, and, the question
Right.
becomes, who paints it and
Sure.
and who updates it, and kind of, that's why it was left. And I guess at some point, it'd probably get where if it's no longer in good condition, it may get painted over.
Sure.
And so it's just to give you.
Well,
guys
then
for
Option for maintenance, right?
Right. Then the next one says, we'll monitor the paint area regularly to ensure it's kept clean and free of vandals. Well, I don't even, it's not even our tanks, so we don't have access to that. I don't want to have to call Derek or somebody at the city to drive me up there every couple months or every year. So that's, I don't mind being a part of it. I just don't know that where, and remember, when we're making this agreement, it's gotta be if I'm not here and you're not here.
Right.
or, so it's gotta be something that somebody can deal with. I don't mind it being, where we have a part in it, but access is
Is a big issue.
to maintain it. I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I don't
want
think, we don't expect you guys to go out there and monitor it.
Right, and I don't feel like it's in an area that's gonna get much
We don't
vandalism. I mean, I just really don't.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a,
More-
again,
more
the agreement's just to
Right.
provide the language,
Right.
so what if someone did climb the fence,
Sure.
vandalize it?
Yeah.
Do we, as the city, are we responsible for removing the vandalism and again, we think it's a very unlikely scenario where something may happen, but do we then ask the school district to, hey, can you repaint it? Or.
But you also ask in here too about the release liability and indemnify us and everything like that too, and I don't, where does. If some guy goes up there to check it, like if Jerry goes up there and checks it getting hurt, are we then, you know what I mean? I don't, there's gotta be some way where, I could see when the Fitzgeralds are there and something happens to them, it's on us, I get that. But after that, when they're going up and maintaining it and it's there and they're looking at the mural, does that then put us, it just,
Well, if they're up there doing work like maintaining it, like they're repainting the letters. Then that would be liability for you guys, but,
put in perpetuity? What if we say, well, hey, we don't want you to take it, we like it the way it's at?
well, then no one will be up there doing the work, right?
Well, not necessarily, there could be somebody that comes in for David's job and says, that looks like crap, I'm gonna go and paint it red. Then that means we're still on the hook for it, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get it to where there's,
I'd say maintaining the original structure, you're right.
Okay.
And then if you guys say, no, we don't wanna maintain it anymore, we go, okay, then the city will. Repaint it as we need, which would be just one solid color of. Its tank had to be refinished,
right,
right?
And this is where this contract probably needs to end once they're done. And then in the contract, it says they have first rights to maintenance or repainting as needed. Before the city does it, and then contract can come. I get back for that time period, but that's it, but I think when they're done painting, they drive away, it's our responsibility.
You want the city to take our full responsibility.
I do, because there's so many ambiguous things here. You're not gonna be here, you're not gonna be here, and I'm not gonna be here. And I don't know where you're gonna be.
Yeah.
I think what I hear you saying there.
The paint's gonna last about 5 years.
Yeah.
We'll take responsibility and
And then,
I mean, we'll have to be, we'll paint it, we'll do everything.
we'll contact the school and give them first.
they have first right to
Yeah, hey,
to the maintenance before us.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
the city attorney said, just like any claim of indemnification is forever. It goes with the term of, but if you wanna put an expiration date, like it's. Once they painted it, they're done, the city, we'll have to make sure the tank's covered by our insurance and the paint job and get a cost for that, so that it's. We'll
What
take
that
on
would be
the.
too, is that you guys would also approve what paint, we would come down and say, hey, we're looking at putting this paint on there, so you guys could say, well, we can't use that paint because that's gonna create rust, or that's gonna really,
Yeah.
in the tank, stuff like that too.
I mean, maybe we don't do an agreement, it's a handshake deal and. It's better that way, right? Because then,
We need some type of agreement, if there's, there's construction work getting done on the tank, right? They're gonna have a boom truck, so we need something memorial.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I think you do.
Then what they can do is they can file, an encroachment permit for a one-time job. That would bring
yeah,
insurance.
I just don't know how, we'd have to work with the city attorney to. Limit the indemnification only to the construction, because what he's saying is. this is something that lasts forever and should not have an end date. So,
Right.
but I hear the direction is to have an end date on any claims of liability, so it needs to be, we'll have to.
So he's saying
correct
if
it.
a kid goes up there and licks the paint and gets sick, it's not on us. That's gonna keep any work ever being done by anybody volunteering in the city. That's gonna keep the red curb from getting painted on a community unit day, because it can't hold them responsible for a kid licking the curb.
Well, and I'm also
I know
not,
it's stupid, but I mean. think about
not,
it.
nor will ever be in a position to put the district in a forever situation. That's just would be unfair of me to do that. Even if I was.
Right. I'm just going with what the city attorneys say.
No, I'm not, I'm
And
just saying.
this is consistent with the agreement that the district and the city previously entered into with the planters. And so and nothing happened, right? And the planters are gone, so therefore that project has come to a natural ending. If we had, like, we knew this painting was gonna last for 3 years, and it's really to cover, again, the situation, it's. I guess someone would have to draw a connection between licking paint and, you know, which is probably lead paint, versus a situation where, you know, someone's refreshing the paint 5 years from now, falls off the ladder, hurts themselves, and then sues the city, because we're responsible, right?
Right. But at that
And-
point, they're not allowed to do that, so you have a new contract written where you refresh this one for that period of time that they're there.
Okay.
I mean, that's my thought. I'm probably the dumbest
I
one in
mean,
the room,
do
so.
we do an actual construction contract with Fitzgerald? You know, and the contract will be
Yeah,
$0.
he can assume the responsibility. for both.
$0.00, and he's doing this job for us, he's painting the words on the tank.
To just cover the construction part.
Yeah,
It probably would need to be like for $1 or something.
yeah, something like that.
Rather than an agreement between.
Kind of like when you painted
the school.
City Hall, same thing.
Yeah, and that'd be a question for the attorneys.
Yeah.
And
He's doing-
ultimately, this is gonna go to council, and I think, Mayor, you can
And
say,
we'll-
you know
and we'll
what,
also have to bring it to our guys anytime, or you or anything like that too, unless you just do the project work, then we're not really.
right? I mean, it might be easier is just have it be a city project, if the council will have to agree that that the city's responsible for painting it, and we're maintaining it, we own it, has nothing to do with the school. It's not a. it's
And
not
I
a
know
school
that they
project.
are definitely willing and able to donate the paint and do the painting and everything like that too.
Yeah.
And I feel like what we could do is we can secure the lifts and stuff like that too, that they can use.
Yeah, that would all be kind of. If we did the construction around kind of beyond us, because you would say, hey, Fitzgerald, we got this for you.
Correct, no, right.
And they're just doing a job.
Between them and us,
Yeah,
right,
they're
correct.
just doing a job. They're doing a job.
Yeah, then we don't need an agreement.
Right. That's
There we
a
go.
possibility.
And the writing in the, putting it out there could be, you know, working together, however, the actual paperwork is just the city's construction contract with the chairman.
Yeah, I again, I'm gonna question whether it's even gonna need an agreement, right? So, but then we can, meaning the city can, it's a city project,
Mhm.
city takes the lead. If we wanna paint it over, we paint it over,
Mhm.
you know,
Agreed.
it's not a school district project that's doing.
Because I would think it would be that way, because you own the tanks and you own the land it's on, right? So you could easily do that.
It's a city project. I think that's the direction we hear from you, Mayor, is you want it to be a city.
I think that's
City
clear.
project.
I think that's the cleanest way, and then, but when we put it out in the public, that it's us working together. Even though it's under our contract.
It's not gonna say go to town land, is it?
But I mean, if we should, out of history, you know, when we were approached about the plan of the project.
Right.
That was it, that was a school district driven project, which we entered into the exact same agreement, other than so.
Right.
We had the exact same terms and everything,
Okay,
but I understand, this one's different, it's.
When you indemnify into that contract. The paint itself could have a, projected lifespan. You say, we're gonna be indemnified for the lifespan of this product, right? And it could be, well, this paint's good for, guaranteed for 10 years, guaranteed for 20 years. We may be able to, if you could have somebody have it point towards the life of the product.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I think I hear this
about that, yeah.
direction of the mayor, this is the city project,
It's the fastest and cleanest way.
and we'll ask the mayor or the city attorney to redraft how this should be written, if it's an agreement, I'm not sure, maybe it's not an agreement, it's the city assets, city liability, we're responsible, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, just let me know. I can help.
Let's get them and the Fitzgeralds on the Public Works Subcommittee.
You mean like to present to them? You mean?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know.
So we're gonna need to loop them in.
If we go to that subcommittee, then we have to come to us. We're
Yeah, we'll-
down the road, we're in the rain. What can we do to speed this up to get it done this year?
Ultimately, it's gonna have to go to council if it's an agreement,
Mhm.
if it's,
But it doesn't if it's under a certain dollar amount, correct? I mean, if it's for a contract for $1, you don't have to bring it to us.
yeah, well, that's something that we confer with the city attorney. It's, the reason it goes to council aren't always financial alone, so it's.
Right.
So they could do a lot of things.
I understand, but this isn't a controversial item.
No, I wouldn't assume so. I assume council supports taking on the responsibility and the financial requirements and ensuring the contractor. It's unusual for us to hire a contractor and not get insurance from them, so that's the part that we'll have to.
I'm sure Fitzgerald have no problem with that. He even told me that they would.
Yeah, it takes one phone call, you can have it in 10 minutes with these certificates, and we literally just will email our carrier and tell them what language you want as you're additionally insured.
Mhm.
It doesn't cost any money, we all pay for it every year anyways. They'd have it to you by the end of today if you needed it. Because if they've done public work and done the prevailing wage, they already have it, it's a guarantee. I'm missing Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margaret's not looking good.
He would have to, but his Margaret passed you. The $1 contract.
It's a what contract?
It's a $1 contract, they're not paying workers themselves.
Correct.
So they're not paying.
It depends on, actually, well, I think it might depend on this fall too. The LLC or S Corp, C Corp. But we can talk about that.
I'd like to see this come forward in September. And get it
To the
done.
council.
If it has to go to the council, otherwise I'd like to see their butts up their painting in September.
I mean, it's just one of the community projects that generally gets council approval.
Yeah.
This one, obviously, we could say, well, everyone agrees with it, or at least we think it does. Skip that process, but it's just out of consistency with getting council approval for. If we were doing something, but then again. Maybe. It's your direction, Mayor.
I don't agree with zero gravity chairs that some of these guys have in here, but you buy those, so. Sorry, just joking with you, totally joking. Yeah, David, whatever works best, whatever you think is cleanest. I really want to just get it done. It's not, shouldn't be, research.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
All right, well, the next item on the agenda, Mayor, is a proposal to prepare safety evaluations for the 2 intersections that were requested by the school district. We've obtained a scope of work from W-Trans. Public Works Subcommittee has recommended approval, and they directed staff to put this on the Joint City Schools Subcommittee so that Superintendent Sinestra has the opportunity to see the scope of work that was provided by W-Trans. The cost of this work is $10,900. It will be borne by the city at no cost to the school district. The plan is to enter into a formal agreement agreement with W-Trans, and the city will perform the necessary analysis. We expect that there will be a number of recommendations to improve those intersections based on the study. And again, those will come at the city's expense.
Are these, is this like the county thing we were talking about, or is this different?
No, this is different. This is a whole,
This is
third-party study from all the.
This is the North Street intersection and School Street intersection.
Gotcha, perfect. Okay.
You
This
recommend.
is what I wanted the students to do.
No, that's the other one.
Oh,
I can't read the other one.
The car counting, yeah, we're gonna try to find, I did do a survey of the area of School Street. The School Street's a hard spot to park that trailer on the side of the street there, so I'm gonna possibly talk to the chief and see if we can identify maybe an off-street location.
Can we, what if we put it like on the, like, does it have to be on the street to count, or can you do it like?
It doesn't, I was gonna find figure out if we can do how, what the distance offset it would be if you could put it off-street and still have it count.
Well, we had it on, was it Jefferson, on that dirt area,
Mhm.
and we're still counting,
Where there's no sidewalk there, right?
yeah, we're still counting. But
It could be up in the,
What if we use one space inside the little admin parking lot for the DO?
and that's what I'm hoping, right, just on the west side of the redwood tree there, that parking space that goes all the way in there, I'm
Correct.
hoping it can reach from there.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, because that would be. yeah,
because it's really gonna, having it there with drop off and pick up, and it
Yeah.
would really
Yeah.
make a mess.
Agreed. I know you want to move up there, Kevin.
I was thinking it would be a great student project, counting and pedestrians.
Well, you have traffic data from Jefferson when school is in now.
Okay.
And so I haven't finished the summary of that data yet, but I'll have it for the poster.
Do you need anything from us on this? Any assistance or anything we need to be doing, or is that just, will they come and speak to us?
No, I think I just wanted to make sure you were,
Okay.
apprised of the scope of work, that the city is, at its expense is following up at your request to do the work. And it'll come back with recommendations, and it'll go back to council with, recommendations to make whatever improvements that are called for, and
Awesome,
council at the time will have to discuss how they finance those improvements.
great, thank you for doing that, we appreciate it.
And it's just noting that we have a pretty significant budget shortfall, but that will be addressed at the time.
I know that's not how we need to make these decisions, however, once this is done, are we going to be on the hook if something happens because we knew it was a liability?
I mean, we're always subject to liability.
If play dumb versus, we have the study, we have the information, and it's still, and now you didn't do anything.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm just putting it out there.
It's
And I'm not
certainly,
using it, it's one of
yeah, it's certainly, if it draws attention to if there's a deficiency, that exists. And it's brought to light and we don't act upon it.
And they come to us and say we need a stoplight at School Street. We don't have $1 million to put in a stoplight,
There'll probably be some other recommendation.
I'm just saying that makes me real nervous. At the price tags we see on these things,
Right.
but you're the leader, you know what's best. And-
Well, I mean, it's the only way to develop a set of recommendations to address the superintendent's concerns is to do the studies, and that's the necessary first step in moving forward. And it'd be up to council to prioritize that among other safety improvements.
Yeah. All right.
It's full in my head.
You go back and boss your border on, aren't you?
No,
All right, we'll move on. Thank you, David, on that. Anything else?
No.
Still no public in here, so we'll move on to the next one of student liaison appointment.
Yeah, so we, as we've done in the past, developed the application for student liaison. We've had a real great story around appointing student liaisons that have been wonderful addition to our city council. And many of which have went on to successful college endeavors. After a fairly significant process to seek applicants, we did receive one application. We didn't put it in the packet just out of recognition that the students are under 18 years of age. But we did want to bring that here. Normally, this subcommittee provides the recommendation for the student, or there's a support by the subcommittee. And ultimately, if this subcommittee supports, the student liaison is appointed to serve as a student representative on city council. So we've always appreciated the opportunity to have multiple applicants. In this case, we've only received one. There is funding to provide for two. And it kind of assists with the students' workload a little bit to have two students. Because otherwise they end up attending both city council meetings rather than splitting the duties. But I kind of defer to the committee as to whether this student is recommended, or if the subcommittee would like us to continue to promote students, this program to students for the upcoming school year. And certainly you could make a recommendation to appoint this particular student, and we could continue to seek applications to get another or an additional student. But that's up to the committee.
Those that know Seiko, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hands down, one of my favorites. So she'll do a great job. I know she plays one sport, softball, and so springtime will be tough for her. So I think we leave the door open for a second one. But if she wants to take it on, that kid takes it all on. So she's solid.
And if there's support, our city clerk can reach out, set up a meeting, establish the protocols for meeting attendance, and go over the process. I think it's a great learning opportunity for the student, and with your blessing, and the superintendent.
It was great.
Pretty good.
And Mayor, if I can, our previous student liaison, Yada Gallego, she may be under the impression that she didn't have to reapply. I know she had interest in going again, so it's possible that we have another interested candidate. I can reach out to her and see if that's her impression or if she wanted to stop, but.
If she wants to reapply, I think we would all support that. She's great.
Perfect.
But she has to bring that backpack. Lightning McQueen every time. All right.
Do we need a motion for this since it is an appointment or anything like that? Or can we just unanimously agree?
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, good. I'll second it. Anyone against it? No.
No.
Beautiful.
Perfect. I'll reach out to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. All right, moving on forward, traffic safety education plan. This is one that I wanted to put on here. Chief and I have talked about it in finance meeting. Now I want to bring it here. I've asked them to start looking to have a deterrence with speed and traffic for the kids and everybody this time of year.
Scooters.
All of it, scooters, the electric bikes, and the cars,
Okay.
and just kind of not treat it as a punishment or punitive unless it's absolutely necessary, but it's an educational moment for everyone, and to kind of slow people down, keep people safe, work on the scooters because your bike racks are full of them. So that's why this is here. Chief knew I was going to bring it in. I asked about it a few weeks ago, so he knows, and I know he probably has a plan in place or is ready to go. So.
How can we help?
More bingo.
More time?
That's always the answer.
Yeah, I have a pretty wide field, but that's one of them.
No, so, with, our SRO is starting back up next week.
Okay, I was gonna ask that.
We're gonna start Monday.
Okay.
And so obviously you'll have him on Mondays, but, the high school had asked us to do some extra enforcement today and tomorrow. We couldn't get there today. We had to working on a child abuse case. You may know about it. staff to get out there, so, which happens sometimes. So we plan to be out there tomorrow. Just gonna get people out there, slow people down.
Kudos to you guys too on the first day, last Thursday, when you met some people over in Jefferson too, that really helped a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, we had one park there right by was a quick stop. I
Yeah,
guess, called,
stop sign.
and then there was one around the corner, so it made a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. We're happy to be there. So we're gonna keep doing stuff like that, but, obviously, depends on our staffing. We have some big things coming up, but, so I'll be scheduling some, directed enforcement for school, the seatbelt, safety, speed, and other things that usually come up, so.
I think
Go ahead.
we could also add, like, have our administrators just thinking about the newsletter that they send out to families and just being a reminder about traffic safety and, using helmets and just being proactive on the information. So we have multi ways of receiving the information, not just from cities, but also from the school, and just being like, hey, this impacts the entire community and we all need to be safe. And it's everybody's responsibility. It's not just police officers, it's everybody's responsibility to be safe and maintain our students
And
safe.
that's what I was hoping, is there was a like a newsletter that goes home, it's
Mhm.
English, Spanish, maybe someone talks about the scooters and the age limits and things like that, so along with it, so that.
And the rest are also gonna go into the classroom and talking
Yeah.
about scooters,
Yeah, we got that set up, yeah.
e-bikes and all that stuff.
We're also working on, through the Public Works Subcommittee, the stop sign on Jefferson at Third Street. That long stretch where the kids fly all day long and they get all the complaints,
Mhm.
it'll be cut in half with a stop sign.
Okay,
I don't know how soon, but I know that it's being worked on.
okay.
So we're trying to create deterrence, but, she knows that we're not in this to go punish the kids and hammer down, but it is a little bit of reality, information education first.
Right. Okay. Can do.
Anything else on that? Anyone? David? Nothing? Go through the standing items. First one's the cooperative agreement review by city school ad hoc.
Okay, this effort started with the previous subcommittee membership between the former superintendent and former subcommittee members to update the cooperative agreement, and the focus was to update the agreement to kind of reflect kind of current practices. The agreement included provisions for the school resource officer, where we now have its own MOU. There was also provisions in the cooperative agreement around the tennis courts and paying for the improvements. So there's opportunity to look at that to see if there's maybe some joint use that could continue, or in that case, there was some city funding put towards resurfacing the tennis courts. I think there was, this where it spelled out that there would be mutual indemnification when it came to joint use. So if, and quite often, especially around graduation time, there's programs or activities planned at city parks or facilities. And there's language in the cooperative agreement that provides for the school district providing us insurance, indemnifying us for those activities, kind of like what was in the other agreement. But it's probably time to relook at that, because I think maybe superintendent may have some fresh perspectives on like insurance and those kinds of things.
Yeah, and we've recently just talked about, at the board meeting, we talked about even our football facilities and track facilities and stuff too, and we've really made a conscious effort of leaving that open on off hours, on weekends, things like that too.
Yeah.
Our plan also is to do the same with the the tennis courts as well. Once we figure out, again, there's a staffing issue also, because once we figure out to get those open, like open at 4 o'clock, close them at dusk, basically. And then on the weekends, kind of leave them open so people can get in and stuff too. So we're probably about a month in on the track one, and it's been going great. People have been using it, which is great. They even go down there like when we have football practice or just walking around the track, which is great. It'll be a little bit more difficult once we get into spring because we'll have like track practice and it'll be a little bit more using the facilities differently. But our plan is to do that, for the city to do that. We also do have another plan of trying to get, we're funding issue also, but we would love to get some pickleball courts painted also in there on the tennis courts as well. It's just, we haven't got there yet, that's all. But that would be the idea. Our main concern, just like we did with the football area, is just, we can't have people there during school time, right? Same thing with the tennis courts, even though it's off the side, it's still just
No.
on campus.
Yeah.
So, we haven't had too many people push that issue, but we are working on that, as far as allowing access to that, so.
That was the ultimate purpose when we did this with Measure H. That was all.
Which, right, exactly. Yeah. So,
But if you remember when they first opened, it got abused really quick, so we shut it down instantly.
right,
I think it's first week,
Right.
and so it's nice that it's coming back slowly.
yes, yeah.
I love it. It should be open if possible, so.
Yeah. But I would say we're totally in agreement with the cooperative agreement. I'm totally fine with doing that. I think it works for both sides. I think it's great. As you know, I've been here a year now and we're totally on board with doing things together and being cooperative for that. So sounds good.
Right.
Yeah, there's a whole set of red lines
Yep.
that were done, so. There was an ad hoc that was appointed, it was a city member and a school member, and they were kind of
Yeah.
working.
So what do you need us to do? Do you need us to have it go through our board again, or do you just need?
What?
I think we're good with, I've looked at it before. I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay, I can send you an email, I never saw a final that was agreed upon,
Right, but I'm kind of waiting to find out how we agree upon it. Do I need to go through my board and you go through your city, or how does that work?
I think we need to sit down and come up with an updated or amended, redrafted, cooperative agreement that covers all the things we wanted to say.
Do you have the one that was redlined and everything? I think
I do.
Joe and Ashley, I think the two that were doing.
Right,
Do you want to send it again to me?
sure,
And then that way, then I'll send it to you two. And I'll just look at it and then I'll set a time to come and sit with you guys and we can do it. I don't think, if I remember right, when I read it, I had no issues with it at all, other than just a few like name changes and stuff like that with it and updating a few things, but. Okay,
That'd be great.
yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
I'll forward it, I'll forward the version I have.
Okay.
From, it was February of 2022. But I mean, I think there's opportunities to. Take a fresh look at it, and kind of update it accordingly.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys. All right,
I
ready?
think we got our update for number 2 on the,
Yep, you already, did you get anything else on SRO?
well, you got another, officer between now and.
One and 3/4. So I just sent him to a week-long class, for a new update for SRO. In that class had, grant assessment stuff in there, so he's bringing all this stuff back.
And he's really been working, I mean, as we know, he's working great with our guys and we're, yeah, we're excited. One thing that I'm gonna have him do also that we talked to him about, it's obviously easy because he's my neighbor, but I know that we have a Hispanic parent group that really wants to meet with, wants him to come to something so they can ask him questions or anything like that too, so. And he's totally for it, we'll get that set up probably sometime in September, is my guess.
Okay,
But,
yeah, do you need a Spanish speaker there?
no, we'll be able to provide that.
Okay.
Yeah, but so are we thinking, I know last year when we started it again, you had some days where you had some people that were out, but he needed to kind of do both. Like on a Monday where you kind of could potentially be called out. Is that still kind of the case? Or are you thinking that you
I don't
got?
see anything right now.
Okay.
We have an officer going out on annual leave in October. But.
Because my point is, just let us know if that's the case. We're just happy to have it anytime.
That was an emergency.
No, right.
So I don't foresee that
Okay,
unless it opens up, obviously.
sure.
We're making a plan, yeah.
And he's really, what I like about him too, is he's really good with communicating with us when things come up too, so that's really helpful. You know.
Better talk. Keeps them on the line.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, is it good?
Yep.
All right, Times Square property, Washington Street Extension. Superintendent, you should probably start.
Well, we're rocking and rolling there. We're hoping to be done by the end of September, by the, end of September. So I don't know what else to say about that. But the good thing is for us is that AVH has the same contractor too, which is nice. So they'll know exactly where things are and like that too. We're able to help in any way that you guys need us to help, as far as that goes. So we're able to meet. I know you talked about having a meeting potentially with all three of us together, or four of us, I guess it would be. And then, we're happy to help any way we possibly can. I did talk with, just so you know, and you were there too, Todd, I did talk with, right, so when they're done, they're still gonna fence it off so nobody can go that way, essentially. So, and then all we're gonna do is, so the only people that'll drive that way, not towards the field, but drive that will be staff that parks there. And then eventually, I think what we'll do, if you're familiar with it, is when it goes, there'll be kind of almost like an alley that kind of goes between the stop and the school. And that eventually we'll just do like an arm where people can come in and check in and to do that, people like staff members to be able to come in. But, as you know, whenever there's people are gonna go, right, where they think they're gonna go. So we're really gonna do a good job of trying to try hard to stop them from going out into that parking lot or into that bare land, I guess it would be. Yeah. So, but we're happy with how it's progressing. It's going well and it's starting to take shape now. If you ever get over there, it's starting to take shape. You really see what's going on.
Due to the removal of 3 or 4 trees, we're looking for other tree placements.
We are,
Yeah,
We are.
we're looking for tree placements.
for the trees that were removed. No,
Did we remove trees?
we removed trees.
I didn't think we removed trees.
Okay,
Do you have a permit for that?
There were existing trees on your guys' plan,
This is the wrong name to mention it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't, we removed, I think it's pretty small.
There's someone in front of the Times Square property, just go pick them up in the buckets and bring them.
right.
Yeah, they already created that.
Already created that.
There you go.
well.
So we met with,
Sorry. Okay.
David and Derek and I met with, Citrus Fair last week and had what I would consider that a productive meeting with their board. There was a lot, right? There was a lot of things that they hadn't heard before because it had all gone through their CEO and it was all verbal and a lot of Zoom meetings and things like that, that obviously nothing got relayed. So, there was one that liked to do the head shaking no, but there was about 7 that liked the yes. And so, basically, the public utilities easement for the new sewer drain down the middle of Citrus Fair, we're good to go. And not only are we good to go, but we're good to go all the way to the curb line of Alexander Valley Healthcare because there was a dirt area basically that wasn't able for us to do anything with. We couldn't pave it or anything. Now they've given us permission for that. The connection, they were good for that. So there's no worry, no contention, anything anymore for the hookups like they talked about in the past.
Good.
Things that might affect you, the bulb outs for the ADA, where the crosswalks are, the sidewalks bulb out, they're good. When they cross onto their properties, they know it, they're okay, they know that we have to have those things. They're ready to help with the connection on their part. We're gonna have a special meeting in the next couple of weeks. I met personally with Debbie from Alexander Valley Healthcare on Thursday. And we went over the game plan and, she's supportive as well. Her first, order of business, once she knows that the funding is there, is to, finish Washington Street through and do that pipe. Those are the 2 first things they're planning to do in good faith. Even if they don't have full everything for the infrastructure, they know they can do those portions.
Okay.
That's gonna help with your drain that goes to the south. It's gonna be a bubble for now. And then the one that's existing on the corner there, we need the new pipe.
Okay.
So I don't know what their timeframe, they're talking November. I asked her not to let the contractor leave until he's done people in October,
Mhm.
so. You know, it's one of those,
So it's best case scenario done in September.
that's what they were saying.
They're having a hard time getting the concrete in. There's a delay, it's the materials themselves, so.
My goal is that sometime between now and the end of September, we can have a plan with Debbie with the money that we've allocated for that pipe and roll into that section and start that pipe,
Mhm.
knowing that the city's putting forth this amount of money towards it. Get that portion of the quote, by itself and get that going.
Yeah, the development agreement that the council approved with healthcare provided a $250,000 grant to cover the drainage improvements to address the school district's, drain pipes. We are gonna be on the hook for our fair share cost of the road improvements, which is separate from the drainage work, so council will have to come up with an engineering estimate and obligate a funding towards the project in addition to the 250.
Which is like what?
It's gonna be for that section that she doesn't pave, so.
She said she's in on the paving that too.
Yeah, it's covered, she's agreed to pave the northern section. But connecting to Citrus Fair Drive. But it's subject to a, report that was done based.
Now you're talking about Washington Street?
Yeah.
I was still talking about Citrus Fair Drive itself,
Yeah.
So that's the section I think that we should really get that going, because we already know that we have the money allocated for that.
Yeah, the section is the northern section is the piece that would be the asphalt improvements that would connect to the school district's
Right.
bus turnout.
Right.
So that's a portion which we're obligated to fund our fair share, based on the traffic study that was performed. And we don't have engineer's estimates for that section yet, so we'll have to figure out what that cash contribution will be once we have those estimates. And Debbie probably hasn't, so we'll need to kind of parse that up and work out what's our responsibility for just that, not the southern section, but the north piece. Yeah.
Right Contracting is pricing it as we speak, so if we could have them break those two out, it'd be easy.
Yeah.
But I think that we really need to schedule that with Debbie. I already told her, she said she'd work on it, but I didn't tell her to pull that piece out.
Yeah.
Out of Washington Street.
She's very aware, because she reminded us multiple.
She
times
reminded
that we're.
me, email and in person, so, yeah. But she said, she's not afraid of it, but she's not going to pay for everything on it, so I get that. However, I'd like to get an estimate on the pipe on Citrus Fair.
Exactly.
Because if that comes up 150 to 180, which is what I'm kind of expecting, then we're gonna have 70 put into that, and if you look at the prices we're getting on just overlays, if the rock and drainage is in, it's not us, that's her, then we might have enough, pretty close to have enough money to do it. But I'd really like to see it in hard numbers, so that we know.
Because we're gonna pay for the pipe going down to Hillsburg.
Oh, that's on us too? I thought that was on her.
That's all the drainage improvements are part of that 250.
Okay, well,
And
then we'll have enough.
then we're on the hook for the fair share allocation of the street costs. That between
The middle
Citrus
one.
Fair Drive and the kind of the driveway.
Yeah.
And I would say we would be willing to help you for, if they have questions of us, just to show us sort of united front, I think that's what really comes to things, so.
I think we have complete interest in seeing that project come through. It's one in which we're relying on the developer to initiate the work with the contractor, and really our contribution is the technical aspects, but also the financing piece.
My worry
Improvements are glaring, it's
Yeah.
obvious, it's not.
My worry is Wright leaves and it costs us $50,000 to $100,000 more to bring back. And it's April. That's my worry. If they leave and it's not under whatever, approvals that are already out there, we have to do more, that's gonna cost a lot. That's why Debbie's doing it, because it's not prevailing wage, it's not hours. Good there? I'll reach out to Debbie again, see if I can get more information. All right, next thing, planning and development projects.
Yeah, I usually take that one. We haven't received any new development project applications. There's some,
Appreciate you giving me that.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
We're gonna share that on Tuesday.
okay, good. There is some discussion of potentially a project near Second Street Park, but it's hypothetical at this point, so I wouldn't, we'll let you know if anything
Okay.
becomes formal, but at this point, everything I sent you is up to date.
They're smoking along down at the Baumgartner Ranch. They're going fast.
It was going very slow for a long time.
Yeah, we won't give them the next stage of the project.
Yeah, it's going, wow, yeah. Every time I walk by there, I'm like, wow.
You should walk by there right now, there isn't a soul to be found,
Really?
won't talk anymore.
Good.
All right, we good?
Yep.
All right, next one, the lifeguard certifications and Cloverdale Community Pool.
Yeah, I think this is just really standing items to kind of have a placeholder there. Should there be interest by the school in building a community pool? Because there, support opportunities for swim competition. I think this was referred to by the Planning and Sustainability Subcommittee. And it's the other interest here is continued coordination between the city, the YMCA, and the school district on promoting the lifeguard certification program to students, because it's actually a pretty well-paid job to be able to be a lifeguard, or there's other ancillary responsibilities at the pool at the Veterans Memorial Hall, which we have an agreement with Sonoma County to utilize the pool. It's a 3-part agreement between the the city, and the county. But we've in the past worked with Y to promote the lifeguard certification program to students, because it's just a fantastic job opportunity. And the other part of it is it actually helps keep the pool open during the summer months, because getting a lifeguard up here from another area is just tough. And so to the extent that there's a way to promote it with the students and
We
Mm-hmm.
have
get them trained.
it all spring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't heard any complaints. Mayor, have you heard any complaints this year? I haven't received any.
No, it went smooth as far as I'm.
But I think that is in part because we get local students that take advantage of the opportunity, because the Y generally will offer scholarships to the students to cover the costs of getting certified, and that also presents them an opportunity to put something on their resume, build some leadership, and then also they might have the opportunity to work for other pools in the area. So it's kind of a great job. I wish I had that opportunity.
Does the Y reach out to the school district?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is there, so I'm just thinking about our CTE, not CTA, the CTE career technical education pathways to incorporate and have the certification process be part of one of them. I'm just thinking out loud. Right now, it just came to my mind.
potentially,
But
yeah,
as we're growing our CTE
potentially, yes,
pathways and looking at like, hey,
It's a career opportunity. And
potentially, yes. Mhm.
that would be,
Like almost a subset within. Mhm.
I think it's something that we take off of ours. Y already works with the school district, and then we're just here for whatever you need.
Yeah,
We
we
have
communicate
this and
quite often, actually, because we use their services quite a bit.
especially now with the agreement,
Mhm.
but it's even better, so,
Mhm.
and the heating pool.
So take it off.
That's taking it off, I think everyone agrees.
Mhm.
if you have not yet gone to the pool, you should. I went there every day over the summer and on the weekends. It's warmer.
Yeah.
Well, on one of the hottest days, it was like 96. I was like, it was too hot.
Ever been to a hotel and says you have a seasonally heated pool?
Smokes.
Yeah, it's warm out, it's only too.
It was nice. But it's a great place, great to meet other kiddos, community members. Aquatic aerobics, it's really cool. It's a cool place to be.
I don't have any future agenda items.
My question was, there's a box in front of the high school, that's what it's saying, and I believe it's a PG&E box, is that right?
I would say it's a T box.
Do we know, what do we have to do to be able to put like a mural or something on
Glenn, I've been working on public art programs for a long time, and I'm planning to bring it to a different subcommittee tomorrow, and then hopefully get okay to bring it to council for adoption. Part of that was painting the boxes that the city owns, but we're trying to reach out to the other utility providers who have boxes, and we haven't had any luck yet.
You don't own those?
No, we don't.
What if we just paint them and say, oops?
Okay, this is recording right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine.
That's not our box.
So you want me to wait?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Right?
It's at your risk.
Well, then what if, who would, I guess I can look at it, see who we might call. I was just gonna call and say,
AT&T, Comcast, and PG&E, all three extremely hard to get an answer out of.
okay, all right. I just wanted to go to this committee, because I know it was your box, so it's not your box, so it'd be a utility.
well,
box.
if this program gets adopted, there will be an opportunity for students to apply to do our boxes.
Do you want me to hold back, let me go?
No, I don't, you can do that, I would say do what you.
Okay,
That's what
all right, got it, thank you.
Our boxes tend to be for traffic signals is usually.
Okay.
So wherever there's a traffic signal, you'll see, or typically a 8 foot tall.
Right.
Metallic box, where the shorter square boxes tend to be either PG&E or Comcast or AT&T.
Sweet. Thank you. That doesn't need to be an agenda, I don't think we just.
First.
For information.
It's just Sunday, I got his bill. I don't really talk about it.
Might be something for Chris, he's gotta come and arrest me, but we'll see.
You get a call. You.
I'll take one of your keys.
What? It's a bar. Any other future agenda items?
I would just say, and I know, I think we talked to, I forget his name, too, the guy who's in charge of the agenda. Michael, thank you, that, Gabby and Jenny were left off of the reminder for the meeting, so they were on for the.
There?
Yeah, and so I just want to make sure there's gonna be Gabby and Jenny through December, and then then that's when we reorganize to see.
Yeah, we've added them to the calendar event.
Okay, thank you. I know that Kathleen was working with you, I think, too, so, yeah, awesome, thank you.
All right. We good? Nothing else? We adjourn 6:03. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And I sent you the